Raymond.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Solemn morning, isn't it?
Yes. Not very exciting morning. We all know what has happened to the Ayawaso West Wuogon MP, Emmanuel Chemartin Ejiako. Very fine gentleman. I met him when he was campaigning on campus to replace the chief of staff. And he's a nice gentleman. Unfortunately, we lost him yesterday. We understand he's been battling some health condition for some time now, but couldn't stay on. Our condolences to his family. He's from Odumase. That's where, his brother lives there. So he's from Odumase.
His brother, the former energy minister?
Yes, he tried contesting in that area consistently, but it didn't work. That's why he moved to Ayawaso West Wuogon, where he's been living for a very long time. So the Legon MP, as they call him, is gone. That's the pretty sad story.
In one of his recent posts on Facebook, he was talking about what is there, why are we here, and what is there to this life. He was talking about how a constituent visited him in his office in Parliament, and minutes later, he advised her to see a doctor in a clinic at Parliament. Within an hour, the woman was dead. And he was mourning the death and just raising issues. He was quoting Psalm 90 about how transient life is and how we need God's wisdom to live the rest of our days wisely.
The last time I saw him, he was a regular on the AM show. Yes, and I remember he came out, and when he saw my middle name on my tag, he attempted speaking some Nzima with me. He was probably better in Nzima than myself, but he was a very cordial person. He didn't know me anyway. He hadn't recognized me from anywhere. But I think this was a while back. He just saw him. He's like, "Oh, Enezale, cordial," and for someone to just stop by and say hi to the random person that it really shows what kind of human being he is, beyond the member of parliament and beyond even the politician. So rest in peace, Chemartin Ejiako, Emmanuel Chemartin Ejiako. Our condolences to the family, guys. Let's hear some of the last words that we heard from him.
From what we gathered on the ground was that there was a leakage.
The president needed to make a decision, and a decision had been made. I think it must be lessons to all of us. Like the president said, he's done this in the interests of this nation, in the interest of the people who pay for electricity, and in the interest of his government. So it is fine.
And this was him commenting on the removal of his brother from the post as energy minister. So rest in peace, Chemartin Ejiako. Guys, let's go into the front pages.
Yes, let's start with the Daily Graphic. And it's reporting this morning, no policy on tin, no free SHS. And of course, they said there's no policy on no tin, no free SHS. And Deputy AG defends construction of National Cathedral, and peace in sight. And Danis and Abudus agreed to roadmap. President declares, I have no candidate for Yana. And I'll be telling you why this declaration is important later on. Muntie 3 remission was lawful, as in Mahama was right. That's what the Supreme Court is ruling in this matter. Government will support Tor Revival Energy. But the biggest story in the newspaper is what I'm about telling you. It is on page 44. If you are chanced with the opportunity to grab the graphic today, you see page 44. There is on Joy FM, Joy 99.7 presents. That present is extraordinary.
Charlie, let me do it for you. Scorecard.
It's okay.
Brilliant. So, already I'm hearing that some people are shaking clearly.
Yes. Some
they fear that we are
consequences.
going to mark them. After marking them, the president may take a cue from that and say that no, you are not delivering.
Hey, this table you are shaking.
but on Tuesday at the Labadi Beach Hotel from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. the entire day, we will be live here on Joy 99.7 FM from the Labadi Beach Hotel, scoring at the performance of the NPP government in the past 22 months. We will not be doing it alone. We'll be doing it with you, the listener, and also our crack team of expert panelists who will be looking at every sector: job creation, economy, education, health,
governance and accountability, agriculture,
which includes corruption, governance and accountability.
As you say, it tops the matter.
Daniel,
Infrastructure.
Daniel, in fact,
security,
we have to
health.
We have to do it again. Scorecard, 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 scorecard.
Edwin.
Nobody should be given the opportunity to say that they are not well in those days. Clearly.
So please join us if you can at the Labadi Beach Hotel on Tuesday, 27 November 2018, or you can just tune in to Joy 99.7 FM. Joy News on Multi TV on Facebook. Joy 99.7 FM will be live on Facebook. It will be in your ear, will be in your face, will be in every way that you can reach us. And again, the topics will be education, or the areas: education, health, agriculture, roads and infrastructure, governance. And yes, let me get one more before I move on.
Security.
Governance and security. Yes. Very, very important areas there.
See, the economy is big. It will be Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. live on Joy 99.7 FM everywhere that you reach us, and we will also be at the Labadi Beach Hotel. So join us there so that you can at least ask your questions of the experts we have and the government officials themselves.
It is compulsory for government officials.
It's compulsory.
Yes, clearly.
It is compulsory.
Okay,
accountability 101.
Let's do the rest of the front pages.
But there's another kind of scorecard in the Business Finder. That is the NCA doing the scoring. The NCA has slapped 34 million fine on telcos, and you know the NCA is under the Communications Ministry, and the Communications Ministry will also be assessed during Joy FM's scorecard. Yes. So in the Business Finder, there's also the story about court remands main suspect in 11.2 million bank fraud. Ken Ofori-Atta is also talking about a 10-year master plan to transform the capital market. He's also advising, the senior minister is also advising the Securities and Exchange Commission to clamp down on Ponzi schemes.
Now, the Ghanaian Times is reporting this morning, President's chief crack Dagbon deadlock. And that's a story on the front page with mobilized domestic revenue to fund budget. This is the Institute of Fiscal Studies speaking to the government of the Republic of Ghana.
Yes, in the Business and Financial Times, there is government not obliged to pay men's good customers. That is the finance minister saying. Tax incentives must also cover local investors. That's the KPMG tax expert advising. And
now,
there's also the story about President visits Ketekrachi Timber Recovery Project today.
You mean Ketekrachi?
Ketekrachi.
The Chronicle is reporting this morning that students caned for non-payment of PTA dues. There's a long road to peace in Dagbon, also in all the papers. And this is a very special writer by Bokwansa. You may want to grab the Chronicle for it.
In the Daily Statesman today, it's peace in Dagbon gave it a chance. Ghana to create 5 new districts. 5 new districts. We are creating 5 new districts again.
That brings the number of districts to 259. So we need 259 factories now. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
No. That's when when they were promising the factory was for 260.
No, they said one district.
Sorry.
This one.
The list that the government TV gave us more than 259. It was almost 300 of them. So
yes, but actually, you know, a couple of days back, I hosted Information Minister at the Standard Chartered Budget Forum at the University of Ghana Economics Department. He stuck with the number of 254, saying that was the target because we have new districts added.
Oh, okay. So they have already been catered for.
Yes.
Now we need the factory in the district.
Yes.
Okay. I think this is easier. Creating the districts and the factory. Which one is easier? Creating the factory and creating the district. Which one is easier?
Well, seeing as they've created more districts since they started, but we haven't seen a complete factory yet, even though 79 are going to be in various stages of completion by the end of the year.
Are going to be.
Yes.
So it's easier to create the district than the
factory. Looks like.
I see.
The Daily Guide is reported this morning, Muntia 3 escaped prison and $649 million Sino Hydro cash ready. And there's also another, ready. As in not gotten, ready. Yes. Now, 2 die in Kumasi gas explosion. Ghanaian entrepreneur picks an award. That's also on the front page of the Daily Guide.
All right, so let's begin with the details of the papers. Peace in sight in the 10-year-long Abudu Adani conflict. Good news.
Yes, and this is what is the big news yesterday. The Otufo left the Menchia Palace, came to the Flagstaff House, and this time around he came to present a report of his eminent chiefs. The eminent chiefs were put together over a decade ago. Their responsibility, as John Kufuor gave them, was to find lasting peace and ensure that 5 things are done. The first one was burial of the 2 chiefs who died along the line, who the disputations about whether or not the selection was right, and how best to select a new regent, and moving forward, how do we put in place a new Yana. So this is what they started. In fact, after 8 years, the first time after they were put together, it was after 3 years that they first had their roadmap ready. Then after 8 years, they started with the first 2 projects. This is the day that they presented a report on the first 2 projects, and this we are told that the first one is supposed to happen in December. The second burial will happen in January. You do know that some slight concern has been raised by the Andani group. The Otufor was not a very excited man when he realized that the representation from some of the families, especially the regent, was not happening at the Flagstaff House. He said, and I'm quoting him, "We need to take a serious view and serious decisions on people who are taking the nation and the people of Dagbon to ransom." And those tough words came from the Otufor. The president made it clear that he has no Yana in mind. And this is instructive because since independence, you know that Nkrumah's, this is the most recent fight. They've been fighting for a very long time. Started in 1948. Now, when Nkrumah brokered the first peace deal, there was an agreement that they should continue the status quo. Since Nkrumah's time, virtually every government or military dictator until the until the PNDC time, had instituted one committee that replaced one Yana or the other. And there was some agreement, and the likes of Anamzoya, the likes of Wayoseni have written extensively on why political interference has made this particular conflict protracted for a very long time. So it's refreshing to know that the president is saying he has no sides, he has no interest in the matter, and for the first time in a very long while, we may finally see lasting peace in an area which development has been drawn back a long while because of this particular conflict. Hopefully we get there, but the roadmap is this time tight.
Edwin, let's go and pray for peace for Dagbon in the National Cathedral.
Yes, the National Cathedral, the Supreme Court has set the date for judgment. They've set the date for January 16th, which is after Christmas. Christmas is a Christian celebration. So the General Secretary of the CPP, who sent the case to court, is arguing that the Ghana is a secular state, and therefore government is not allowed to be excessively entangled in religious matters. The key word is excessively entangled. He's arguing that the building of a national cathedral amounts to being excessively entangled in religious affairs. Okay. The Deputy AG, Godfrey Dame, was in court yesterday, and he argued that the plaintiffs should rather go to the High Court because the case at the Supreme Court is not a matter for interpretation. It's not as if there's a part of the Constitution that is being misunderstood. And so when you allege discrimination, for example, in the case of the National Cathedral, you should go to the High Court. He referenced, and his example was, you know, the fire service just recently, some former officers, pregnant women were fired.
Yeah. And
they went to court to seek damages. And that's an example of discrimination, which, according to the Deputy AG, should be the issue to be heard at the High Court and not the Supreme Court.
Right.
And you know the thing about, and yesterday one of the judges asked Bamba, the lawyer for the plaintiffs, he asked him, "Are you saying government should not build dormitories in mission schools? And does that amount to being excessively entangled?" And Bamba was arguing that no. At least in mission schools, they make an application for the dormitories, the construction of the dormitories, and that also the building of such dormitories in mission schools are cross-border. So Christian schools, Muslim schools, and stuff all get that kind of facility. And you know, this issue is being heard by the Supreme Court. And at the Supreme Court, everybody in Ghana, all the oaths we swear in Ghana is sworn in the name of God. We have the Vice President's oath is in the name of God, the President's oath is in the name of God, Council of State, Cabinet, Minister, oath of secrecy, official oath, Speaker's oath, MP's oath, Auditor General's oath. They are all in the name of God. And the judges who have also sworn the oath in the name of God are going to sit down on a matter and determine if God is being too excessive in our...
Government is being too excessive in
yes, with God,
affairs.
exactly.
So we'll stay in the Supreme Court, Raymond. Montier 3.
Yes, the court has decided in a 5-2 majority decision that President John Dramani Mahama did nothing wrong in exercising his powers of actually remitting the jail term 4 months to...
remitting it?
Yes, to just 1 month in this particular case.
Okay.
And we know the people involved, Sally Fumasi, aka Mugabe, Alistair Nelson, and also Godwin Akogan, who is actually a deputy communication officer of the NDC today. The decision was being challenged in court by gentlemen, including the executive secretary to the president, now Nana Asante Bediatu, Elik Plim Agbemava, who is seeking, among other things, to be the NDC's flag bearer, and also Tua Yeboah, who is Alfred Tua Yeboah is the brother of original GBA president. And those are the people who are challenging the decision of the president.
Okay.
In fact, they're arguing that if you are properly interpreting Article 41 and 1B19 and also Articles 125, 126, the president's conduct was not inappropriate. That the grant of remission of the punishment of the 4 imposed on the people was in excess of the powers conferred by the president. But the Supreme Court pretty clearly stated that the remission cannot be questioned as a fully due process, and all the 3 actions challenging it are therefore dismissed, and that's what the court finally upheld in this particular matter. You know, the Muntie 3 were opposing the request by Abu Ramadan to get people with NHI's registrars on the voter register removed. That became a very thorny issue. They suspected, and to their mind, the Supreme Court was not acting right. Indeed, they threatened and brought back 1982 memories of killing of judges and insisted that if they do not act appropriately, they'll be treated in similar ways.
Okay.
In fact, other threats, they acted along the line. When they got to court, one of them said he had probably, you know that?
Yeah, that was when that word became very, very popular.
Yes.
Okay. Guys, thanks for bringing us the details in the newspapers, and you want to grab any of those newspapers for more on those stories. The online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest. Goyle Good Energy. Download the Safe Doctor app now from Google Play. Safe Doctor, the future of better medical care. Now, from now till January 2019, you can get a lot of rewards from Goyle, like George Crine of Ofanko, who has received 1,000 cedis worth of fuel on his Gold Card for the month of November, and a weekend hotel stay for 2. 19 other customers were rewarded with 1,000 cedis worth of fuel for accruing the highest points. 100 other customers had 500 cedis worth of fuel, while 300 customers were given 300 cedis worth of fuel. That makes it 720 customers who have already received their ultimate rewards from your favorite CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year, Goyle. That's all in the Goyle Efie promotion. So just collect your scratch card whenever you buy 80 Ghana cedis or more worth of fuel at any Goyle station, and dial *161 *4645 hash. Follow the steps. You receive an instant message for your reward. Don't forget, your loyalty rewards also await you at the end of the month if you buy more fuel and accrue more points. Goyle Efie promo runs till January 2019. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yedia. Now, your bank of choice, Zenith Bank, is the best customer service bank in Ghana. Our ability to serve you with the very best of products and services in the banking industry has earned us the Excellence in Customer Service Award as the 2018 Ghana Business Awards. We have also won several notable customer service awards, both locally and internationally. So go on, make that move today and achieve your aspirations with Zenith Bank, because we care. Zenith Bank, in your best interests. Now, the online review says, on my join line, I have no pick for next year. Now, peace is paramount. Nanado speaking there. It's agreed. Finance Minister rules out bailouts for Men's Gold customers. Interesting. So government will not be bailing out Men's Gold customers who have not been able to access their principal or their interest. He said it's greed. Sorry, it's greed. Finance Minister rules out bailouts for Men's Gold customers.
No, they are speaking to the president rather. They want the president's help. They've not asked for Finance Minister's help now.
But
so
if the president will pay, then
they are dealing with the big man.
Yes,
should leave it to the president to decide whether he will bail or not bail.
Okay, but this is the Finance Minister speaking.
You should leave it.
Fake body enhancements peddlers play catch me if you can with FDA. Bell Star Capital Star Mount discontinue suit against BOG over ADB shares. And other online stories. The BBC says Chief Justice Roberts rebukes Trump's Obama Judge Gaib. You want to read for more details of that. And South Korean pastor Lee Jae-rock jailed for raping followers. 15 years in jail for raping 8 female followers. Now, let me give you some more information about the scorecard, which is our forum coming off on Tuesday, 27th November 2018. We have specific topics being dealt with at specific times. So if you're interested in education, the education discussion will start from 10 a.m. to midday. So if you want to hear more about free SHS, all the happenings in the education sector, come over at 10 a.m. to the Labadi Beach Hotel. If you are interested in health, come at midday from 12 p.m. to 12 noon. If you are interested in agriculture, come at 2 p.m. from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And when you round up with work and you want to hear about governance in general, come from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. From 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. will be the roads and infrastructure conversation. So you want to hear about the Tema Motorway, you want to hear about the Medina Delta Highway, all the other road projects across the country. We have limited invitation cards at our front desk here at Joy 99.7 FM in Kokomlemle, Accra, for grabs for interested participants. So if you're interested in an invitation card, just come over to Joy FM and pick them up. You can also call 054 630 3435. 054 630 3435.
So it is instructive to note that the economic conversation, the pocket analysis, is from 8 p.m. to 10. No, 8 a.m. to 10.
8 a.m. to 10.
To 10 p.m.
10, yeah,
yes. Yeah.
8 a.m. to 10 a.m. The first one, that will be during the Super Morning Show. So come over to the Labadi Beach Hotel, and the moderator would be Raymond Aqua.
Yes, for the one that puts money in your pocket.
Yes, and for where your children are going to school, the moderator will be Daniel Dad. So I'll be doing education. Okay, and we'll be telling you the details of all the other panels and the moderators later in the week. But join us at the Labadi Beach Hotel for any of these panel discussions. We're going to go for the BBC News at 7 now.